Hello, third year students. Today we are going to discuss Ray Bradbury's Fahrenheit 451. Now, first and the foremost, this text has not been done in the classroom, uh, so I would request you to pay a little bit attention to the minute details and a follow-up PowerPoint presentation hopefully or notes will be provided to you. But in the meantime, please do follow this lecture. So if we, when we begin this, first and the foremost, let's talk about the genre that it belongs to, the novel belongs to. Now, it was written in 1953, and the genre is science fiction. What is science fiction? Now, fiction, you already know, that is not reality. A fiction can be a novel or a film. Science fiction has something to do with futuristic society, something that deals with an imaginative concept about the future. Very much dealt in films nowadays. Bradbury is known as one of the prominent writers of science fiction genre. And the subgenre, if the genre is science fiction, the subgenre of the novel is dystopian literature. Dystopian. Now, what is dystopian novel? Fahrenheit 451 is known as a dystopian novel. Now, what is dystopia? Dystopia means an imagined state or society in which there is great injustice. Dystopia, as you know, is an opposite of utopia. Now, Thomas More came up with, the great Elizabethan man of letters, came up with the idea of utopia, means an ideal land that prevailed justice, that had prosperity. Now, dystopia is the opposite of it. A land that is state controlled, that lacks freedom of expression, that has no space for dissent, a society that is shrinking in poverty, anarchy, and fascism. That is what a dictatorship or totalitarian regime that controls everything in the state. That is mostly the large or general description of a dystopian novel. So it's a dystopian novel. Now, when we go back to the title of the novel, if you look at the title of the novel, Fahrenheit 451. Now, Fahrenheit, see, we calculate as Celsius. The temperature is 17 degrees Celsius, this degree Celsius, that degree Celsius. Now, Fahrenheit is a measuring system of followed by the Americans. So, around 32 degrees Celsius will be 451 degree Fahrenheit. All right, so that is the approx calculation. So 32 degrees Celsius most probably will be 451 degree Fahrenheit. Nevertheless, why is this Fahrenheit, why is the book named as Fahrenheit 451? Now, if you open the book, you'll see there is fire, isn't it? There is you'll see a lot. This imagery is actually that of fire, a burning of fire. Now, when we open the book, the first thing that is mentioned by the writer is Fahrenheit 451, the temperature at which book paper catches fire and burns. So the book burns at a temperature of 32 degrees Celsius or 451 degree Fahrenheit. So the crux, the entirety of the novel is book burning. Very important, burning of books. And the main protagonist, his name is Guy Montag. Guy Montag is a fireman. So the novel has a lot to do with fire and book burning. Now, why are books burnt? Now, he is supposed to be a fireman. Normally, in normal society, what happens? A fireman is there to extinguish fire, to put off fire. When there is fire in our locality, you call the fire brigade. Now, in this imaginative place that where the novel takes place, the background setting of the novel, probably it is mentioned that it is Midwest America, somewhere in Midwest America. What happened is, Guy Montag is a fireman, and he is responsible to burn books, and he works under the government. In fact, they have this entire team of men to burn books. Now, why are books burnt? Because books, as we teachers keep telling you all to read more, it opens new windows. You might say, in this age of the internet, of whatever, all sort of social media that the internet has provided, that informations come to you at the tip of your fingertips, or something that sort of. But books, as classist as it may sound, as traditionalist as it may sound, the information that a book can give is far more constructive. It is far more pluralist. Pluralist means it gives you opinion. It does not give you a didactic motive. It does not make you think in a certain way. It actually fuels your ability to think. It does not dictate you what you should think. It actually sharpens your brain so that you can think for your own self, for the betterment of the society. That is what a good book does. And most importantly, when you think, you dissent. dissent. Dissent, a very important term. Dissent means, it's not descent, it's a dissent. dissent. Dissent means you go against the injustice. So when somebody goes against the injustice, they are actually being a nuisance or a disturbance in the smooth running of the government. So hence, books in this dystopic land was a sort of a hindrance. And fiction, it might not be reality, but it does reflect reality. So book burning has occurred in several junctures in history of civilization, where dictators, where autocrats have burnt down books which had ideologies or doctrines that did not match up with theirs. Now, ideology and doctrines, indoctrination, these are things that we have already discussed several times in class while doing Sylvia Plath and the Nazis. So let's not delve into that for right now. Let's focus on the text, on Fahrenheit 451. So here is this fireman who burns books wherever he finds it. The state, if you look at the novel, the state has put a lot of money, a lot of resources to create apparatuses that will actually help them to control its residents, its citizens. So they have detectors where any person, any family who has books can be traced. So the people, the people who reside in the state are very much under the vigilance of the government. So the state vigilance, another important word, state is continuously looking at its citizens, gazing at its citizens from a distance. The citizens might not know it, but the state is looking at you. One such example will be the CCTV camera. Of course, it has its own advantages and also its disadvantages. So anyways, that is the introductory part of the Fahrenheit 451. We have this person who burns books, and then when we look at the text as such, we begin with, of course, Guy Montage's regular day, which begins with catching people or catching families that own books, the books that date back to hundreds of years, and then burning them and taking the family into prison. And sorry, I forgot to mention this, that I was talking about how state has sponsored, or state has come up with many resources, and one such resource that they have is of this mechanical hound. There is a dog that has been created, a robotic dog, a dog created from a machinery dog that can hunt down people. So you can well imagine, the moment there is a description of the mechanical hound, it almost chills your spine. Imagine a dog that looks like a robot and can crush your bones the moment it gets to you. So this is how society has the word will be regressed to dehumanization, a true dystopia. So another character that really enhances this terrible situation that the people of this state are in, the citizens are facing, is when you look at Guy Montage's wife. Her name is Mildred. Now, Mildred has to be given sleeping pills. She cannot sleep without pills, and she overdoses at times, and she is very much attached to what is known as parlor walls. Now, what are parlor walls actually? It means television sets. So these television sets are they run throughout the course of the day, and Guy Montage somehow he detests these the television sets. Why? Because television sets, for one, it diverts people from reading books. Remember, entertainment. What did great thinkers like Aristotle say? A good piece of art is not just for entertainment. It needs to instruct. So it's instruction and entertainment. Now, what do popular media channels do? They only entertain. There is no instruction, no information. So here too, the state actually in the book funds or